What is up, YouTube? Angry Eradicate here. Today for our Monday analysis battle video, we have a grass monotype team. It's a lot of fun, a lot better than the ghost type team battle I had the last video. This team's a lot more fun, more competitive. I'd probably switch out Sceptile, get to that a bit more later on. But overall, we have Mega Venusaur, Ferrothorn, Cradily, Tapu Bulu, Sceptile, and Rotom. No. Yeah, I think it's Rotom. Mega Venusaur, definitely the MVP of this team. Maybe Tapu Bulu. Those are the two the biggest guys. And you'll see Cradily come up big in one fight, but I think overall Venusaur and Tapu Bulu are the biggest ones. Team is really good balance-wise. It's a nice core with Cradily, Ferrothorn, and Venusaur. Obviously, is one of the best defensive things in Monotype. Super annoying to deal with. And he has some nice sweeping options with Tapu Bulu, Rotom, and Sceptile's kind of iffy, but I'd probably get, if you guys want to go competitive with this team, switch out Sceptile for breloom. I was trying to be a little more creative. I feel like I use too generic of teams a lot, so I tried to experiment a little bit. I probably experimented a little too much with this team between this and Rotom Wash, or not Rotom Mo is kind of iffy too. So Sceptile and Rotom Mo, they're not the best. They're not top tier. I usually try to choose as much top tier stuff to do as battle as well as possible to show you guys what the most optimal thing to use. This team's a little bit more of a jokey team, and it honestly did pretty well. But Mega Venusaur here. Obviously Overgrow beforehand, you can't run Chlorophyll, there's no Sun though, so I guess against Sun teams you can do as a nice trick option, but I feel like he doesn't do enough damage in my opinion. But Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb, Synthesis, Hidden Power Fire, pretty typical set here. 248 HP, because that's for the Synthesis to heal the optimal amount, same with Stealth Rock damage. And defense investment, I was kind of surprised, usually they're especially defensive I thought. Apparently not, apparently they're more defense invested. They're still pretty good with special defense though, with base 120, even without the investment. Alright, up next, Ferrothorn, Leftovers, Iron Barbs. Obviously, you can run Rocky Helmet if you're more worried about physical attackers. However, I'm not really that worried about it. Leech Seed, Spikes, Gyro Ball, and Protect. Seems kind of bare when you look at the set here. I feel like I've never set up Spikes. Never really get a chance to. So maybe Thunder Wave or maybe Toxic. You got some options there. You got some options, or Stealth Rocks, because Cradily only two Stealth Rock options are not viable anymore. And then it kind of gives him not enough to do if he does stay in longer. I feel like he never stays in as long as he used to. Back in Gen 5, this thing could stay alive for a whole fight, it seems. Now, not so. Now I feel like he dies too easily. 252 HP, 88 plus defense, and then I forget the special defense investments for. I'll put in the description below next to his set. I'll state why that's his typical thing, or you can check Showdown too if you want. Ferrothorn's super nice mix wall here, a lot of options to switch in. Forms pretty good coverage with Venusaur, the fact that Venusaur resists fighting and Ferrothorn doesn't really do too much for Venusaur. However, Venusaur takes care of some of the stuff that Ferrothorn struggles against. Next up, Cradily. Again, it kind of forms nicely with Venusaur. Again, this thing has a water absorber. However, grass type teams don't need it too much. However, it does more than suction cups. You almost never get your item knocked off. You can run that though if you're really worried about losing the leftovers on Cradily. Kind of keeps them not as well alive. But Stealth Rocks, Rock Slide, Recover, and Toxic. You can run, instead of Rock Slide, you can run Ancient Power. I think Rock Slide's super nice with a flinch, even though you are pretty slow. Against other walls, it can help, especially against certain types. And his move coverage, besides that's pretty basic. You can run, at least Stockpile, if you want to make a nice, super strong wall. Tapu Bulu, this thing's a beast. Even with just Choice Scarf, it has plenty of damage output. And I do run Speed Nature. I know you guys, I always try to say, if you're running an attack item, or a Choice Band, run the Speed Nature. If you're running a Choice Scarf, run the Attack Nature. Not in this case. Base 75 is just not enough, and his base 130 attack gives him enough attack. Though 359 hits pretty hard still, especially with Wood Hammer, Stone Edge, and Superpower. Those are all great moves, super strong. You don't really need the whole Attack Nature to really boost those up. You still net the 2-hit KOs and 1-hit KOs you need to hit. Obviously, Grassy Surge is super helpful in the fact that it gives you grassy terrain, and that obviously helps all grass types more than anything because they're all grounded here. They all get the boost from the heal, and they also get the grass damage boost. Alright, Sceptile, the little controversial person on this team. Focus Sash, Unburden, pretty typical set here. If you've seen this kind of stuff, if you play lower tiers, you've probably seen this a few times. If you play only higher tiers, only other meta games, you've probably never seen this thing. You're like, why are you using a Sceptile? Why not Mega? You can run Mega, it's a little bit better than regular, I think. And the fact that it gives you an extra special sweeper. It doesn't really matter what set you run, they're both pretty bad. Swords Dance, Leaf Blade, Outrage, and Acrobatics. Obviously, the idea is that you get to hit down the Sash, you get a Swords Dance, and with Unburden, you're pretty much the fastest thing on the field by far. Problem is priority, obviously, so you can't use this thing very early game or without basically sacking him off to get a kill. You'll see him when the fights, I pretty much just do that. Leaf Blade, Outrage, and Acrobatics gives you decent coverage at least. Alright, then Rotom Wash. I keep saying Rotom Wash, the most popular one. Rotom Mo. Choice back set right here. Leaf Storm, Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, and Trick. I feel like it's just not fast enough. If it was 10 base faster, get rid of 10 of its defense even. Getting attacks cheating, but get rid of its defense or special defense. Give it 10 more speed, make it 96 at least, or 100 base speed. This thing would be pretty good then, I think. You have to run speed nature then because of that, and your special attack kind of suffers, and it's only 105 because you can't run the attack nature. Still pretty good though. I like this thing a lot. Super nice to get momentum up with the Volt Switch. I was talking about that, and has Leaf Storm and Thunderbolt and Trick. Trick's always super nice to kind of like punish walls for switching in against it. However, then you do lose most of your damage. The thing becomes a little weak when it doesn't have its choice item. Alright guys, we have some fights for you guys today. I like the Ghost type video. We actually have a lot of wins for you guys to check out today. Let's go check them out. Alright guys, for our first battle here against Azwee, he has a fire type team, so you're thinking, oh, this is a pretty bad matchup. It's actually not that bad. You have a lot of coverage options against fire, and you also have Mega Venusaur, which isn't that weak to it. And Cradily obviously has Rock Slide and Stone Edge on Tapu Bulu. So you have plenty of options against them. Not a bad matchup at all. I leave with Cradily here to kind of counter the Torkoal. We get some nice Rock Slide flinches, super helpful, because this thing probably could have switched out afterwards. We get a crit and a flinch there. So the hacks is on our side. Last video, if you guys were watching, Ghost Monotype video, there was no hacks on our side. All the hacks was on their side. We get a little bit of hacks in the start, and then he'll take that out. He was in this Volcarona, huge gift here. He goes for the Fiery Dance, and I see that he would crit maybe or something like that. Maybe it would kill in the sun. Maybe he thought. I don't really know. We're especially defensive on Cradily though. Able to take it out with Rock Slide. Luckily we're hitting. Goes into Salazzle, and he hits the Fire Blast. Obviously, I set up Stealth Rocks, thinking, okay, we're probably gonna die here, so I set up Stealth Rocks, and he misses the Fire Blast here. So we get a free Rock Slide on him. Takes him on 80. Takes him on the 15%, and at this point, the fight's pretty much over. I still have plenty of things that can kind of beat his team down. I'm going to Tapu Bulu and risk Stone Edge here, thinking maybe he would switch out and try to save Salazzle. I don't want to risk him switching out and me getting locked in the Horn Leech. That could have really been really bad for me, so I kind of had to risk it for the Stone Edge there. And like going to Mega Venusaur against that would be kind of a waste. You kind of sack off Mega Venusaur at that point. Stone Edge hit there. Obviously, crit didn't matter against Ninetales of all things. Goes into his Arcanine here, gets the attack drop on Intimidate. I basically start sacking things off just to buy myself enough time. Going to Sceptile to sack this thing off. Goes right for Flare Blitz, takes me out. However, now he's down to 50%. That lets us go into Ferrothorn here. Again, I'm going to say, okay, let's just try to sack him off. And so you don't need Ferrothorn against Charizard. It's not going to be a good fight for you. And down to 10% there. Up to 16% now. Go to Rotom Mo. And we go for Thunderbolt. We're faster. So I'm guessing he's probably like either not natured into it, which is probably what it is. Because he would have been faster, I believe. Or maybe he's a bulkier set. He goes for Flare Blitz, takes him down to 27%. We can just go into Mega Venusaur here and not have to risk the Tapu Bulu. And go for the Sludge Bomb, Mega Evolve here. And he just goes right for the Flare Blitz. He's on the 33% and just takes him down to self-down 5%. I'm going to use Sludge Bomb, finish him off. We still have Tapu Bulu. For being against a fire type and only getting a little bit of hacks, he probably shouldn't have sacked off his Volcarona right away, but you know, that's his fault for switching in. And that ended up winning the game for us. I'm kind of surprised with this team's potential. I think Grass is actually pretty good, probably like above average. Probably maybe top 10 type wise. Oh, definitely top 10 because that's like, I think 10th is still like under half. This might be not a top 5 type, probably like 6th or 7th. I can't really, I don't want to like make it official ordering for you guys or not, but this team, I think Grass definitely has a lot of potential, especially if you switch out Sceptile for Breloom and Celebi for Rotom. I think the team would be really, really strong. Alright guys, for our second fight here against GTT, the Mystery Sprite. Whoa, look at him, spooky. I think it's just kind of weird how people actually use that sprite. Like, oh, look at us, we're so cool. The cool guy in the team, or the cool guy on Showdown. But he's a flying type team, obviously a bad matchup for us here again. Mega Venusaur doesn't have such a non-disadvantage again. Its thick fat doesn't cover flying like it does with fire. We do still have rock type moves on Cradily and Tapu Bulu, but it's not as much of an advantage. Lead with Cradily here again. It's usually a pretty good lead to set up Stealth Rocks. You can do that. You can also lead with Rotom Mo. Gets a nice crit on the Earthquake there. You get a chance to set up Stealth Rocks. I switch here into Rotom Mo and get the nice predict on the Levitate. And I Volt switch here thinking, okay, he's probably Choice Scarf set because that's all I thought he would switch to. And then he could have went for like the Flynium Z move there. Probably did a good amount of damage, but I guess maybe he wasn't that side. I got lucky there. Hidden Power only does like 15% to Celestelia somehow. Air Slash does major damage to us. He stays in luckily for us. Kind of surprised he didn't switch into like Mantine or something like that. Goes into it now, and I guess he didn't want to risk me predicting that. I go for the Synthesis here to restore some health. He goes for the Defog. I'm like, okay, that kind of sucks because he has a lot of things that obviously would be good against it. So he gets a free chance to Defog. Misplay on my part. Nice Sludge Bomb crit there on that. It's kind of evening it out for the Cradily crit earlier. We do get the poison as well though, so he will die after this turn. I probably should have just Synthesis here, but I was kind of worried he would Roost. So I do Sludge Bomb there. And now he gets into Togekiss here. Air Slash obviously takes us out. However, we do still have some options against this. He does forfeit. I wasn't too worried yet. We have Ferrothorn for the Landorus. We have Tapu Bulu for this, for Mantine. And we still have a combination of Sceptile and Rotom. Probably could have taken down Salamence. maybe. I don't really know. The Focus Sash on Sceptile, Swords Dance, and the Outrage would have probably taken out the Salamence, so I still had that fight. He definitely was not going to win that fight, so sorry, Mystery Man, you don't win that one. Alright guys, up next we have a type that I haven't seen in a while, Fighting. Fighting is a super strong type. I'm kind of surprised it's not used more. Back in like Gen 6, this thing was like top tier. Everyone who was like anybody would use a fighting type team. I'm not saying that, but like fighting type teams are always winning tournaments and stuff like that. So Valtrix Jr. here with Hitmonlee, Infernape, Keldeo, Resolute, Breloom, Cobalion, and Gallade, obviously Mega. I feel like this matchup's kind of annoying because Gallade beats my Mega Venusaur. My two other walls are weak to fighting, so it's kind of a really bad matchup. I kind of do a Sceptile here, just taking a risk, and his acrobatics obviously does nothing because my Sash is not broken. Secret Sword doesn't do that much. I guess Sceptile's bulkier than I thought. Outrage is about 23%, so a little bit more. Maybe it was a higher roll though, I don't know. Secret Sword takes me out there. Go to the Rotom Mo, and he gets a Toxic off, so he's faster. So I wasn't really sure if he was going to be or not. Full Switch doesn't take him out, which is like, come on. And then I go into Tapu Bulu here, except for Grassy Surge. Kind of annoying that he's now up to 8%. And then he can switch on and keep it alive. He does stay and go for Horn Leech, and that takes him down. We're back up to full health, so it's not the end of the world. We only lost one thing so far, and we're not down by that much. I make the nice switch here in the Ferrothorn, and Fake Out's obviously going to hurt him more than me. Only does 5% to me, 12% to him with the Iron Barbs. He is also getting killed by Grassy Surge though, so it's kind of like, it's just wasting that for nothing. And he's now unburdened. We do protect the high jump kick there. I probably should have protected a second time here, but we don't. And we go for, I think, the Leech Seed. We miss, I believe. Yeah, we missed the Leech Seed. That sucks. Pretty sure he switches here, thinking, okay, he's probably going to go for Protect again. Yeah, he does. He probably goes in the Breloom. Yeah, Breloom or Infinite would have been a good switch there. Obviously, I can't do much against Breloom here. He goes for the Mach Punch. Doesn't take me out, luckily. Does about 12% with that. I use Gyro Ball, get some damage off on it, because I can't let this thing start setting up. And I switch off here into Tapu Bulu, thinking, okay, I can probably tank anything he throws to me. I can't be spored. Yeah, Mach Punch is like 15%. He's at the 34 there. I go for the Wood Hammer, and obviously takes him out. So we're not doing too bad yet. I feel like some of those things can beat me, like the Gallade can take out my whole team, so can Infernape. I don't really have much for those. Again, let's crit there on the Wood Hammer against that. Take him on about 19%. He Flare Blitzes. That should take him out as well. I just got the 6% though, of course. So I'm kind of worried. Okay, somebody's going to take some hits here. Go into Venusaur, and I Mega Evolve thinking, okay, maybe he won't Flare Blitz. He does Flare Blitz. I should have went for Synthesis. And then I do take out his Infernape though, but he does live with like 1% left. So that's good. I did go for a Giga Drain. Psychic Cut takes me out 60%. It takes me out 5%. So actually, since I'm defense invested, I'm actually not terrible against Gallade. I should have Synthesis, especially here because he goes for the for some reason he Mega Evolves and then goes for the Aerial Ace. If I would have went for Synthesis, I would have been able to tank this and beat this thing down slowly, but I don't. So then Venusaur goes down, and there goes the rest of my team because Mega Gallade, in my opinion, is pretty broken. I think it's only like UU or like borderline 1, which is stupid. The thing is super strong, and once like a threat or two that's faster than it's taken out, it can just sweep through the rest of your team. It's a non-skill Pokemon in my opinion. Yeah, just not much you can really do about it. But there's that fight. There's just not much you can really do against a fighting type team. When two of your walls are weak to them, and then their Mega kind of beats your Mega, there's not much you can really do. And because you're only the Pokemon are like Sceptile, and Sceptile's not going to win you a fight. Alright guys, for our last fight here against Oblivion Torterra. I think we fought this guy before actually. He might have actually been running this exact team. I'll have to check back through the other battles to prove that or not. I'll let you know in the comments below. But Nidoking, Garchomp, you would probably assume Mega. It could be regular with a Choice Scarf Set or Rocky Helmet. We don't really know. Seismitoad, Landostarian, Diggersby, and Mamoswine. I think this is actually, I think I fought this guy with his exact team before. So I don't really know. Let me adjust the camera real quick. Hopefully that's okay. When you see a team like this, Landostarians, possibly Garchomp, Nidoking, a lot of his Pokemon could really be a good lead. Not Seismitoad, even Mamoswine's good. Besides Seismitoad, really, it's not that good of a lead. With this kind of team, probably not Nidoking. Probably more of a wall breaking one, not a setup. Even a lot of other Stealth Rock setters. I stock up my Rotom Wash. I'll take down the Garchomp a good bit. Go into Tapu Bulu. Obviously, we know it's not a Choice Scarf set now. Horn Leech is able to take that out. Excuse me. Landostarian is only good real switch-in option here. The whole goal of this fight was Tapu Bulu could take out pretty much everything with either Wood Hammer or even like just regular Leech. So I just had to keep him alive. Go on the Sceptile here to get a free chance to set up. He goes for the Fly, which gives me a free chance to go for a second Swords Dance. Not that it really matters because I get taken out by a Revenge killing move after this turn. But he doesn't even activate my Unburden, just doesn't kill somehow. Oh, it did. Yeah, Focus Sash. Oh, I healed because of grassy terrain, my bad. But I was checking like why did I have more than like 1%? Going to Tapu Bulu here. He actually switches out, kind of a mistake. Not that his Seismic Toad's really going to help in this fight anyway. He can at least reset something. And I switch here just to play it safe, going to Cradily, because I know that I can at least weaken this thing down a little bit, and I wanted to make sure that I could go for the Wood Hammer instead of the Horn Leech if needed. Get a nice little crit there, not that it really matters. He's going to restore most of it back anyway by the time he's dead, or by the time my Cradily is dead, so it really didn't matter that I got a crit or not. We go into Venusaur here, Mega Venusaur, to just kind of finish him off. I think he actually ends up finishing off without using Tapu Bulu, but Tapu Bulu could have easily just finished off the team as well. Giga Drain gets him down a good bit. We're staying pretty healthy here. Even though Grassy Terrain ends here, my Giga Drain will do just enough to take it out. And that's on 1.5 times boost, I believe. The Grassy Terrain's not a double boost with Grass type damage. There goes because for the return, we tanked that. Only does 36%, so I'm wondering if it's maybe Choice Scarf, not Choice Band. That's a possibility there. He actually switches into Mamoswine, big mistake on his part. Ice Sharp maybe could have taken out Venusaur, probably not with Thick Fat, as Icicle Crash only does 31%. So yeah, obviously it wouldn't have. I probably should have saw that, or knew that he had a Life Orb. I could have went for the Synthesis, but it ends up not mattering, and that's GG. That's all I have for you guys on this team. It was a lot of fun to use this team. I'm not sure what I'm going to go for yet. Now go for next yet. Maybe Dragon. I don't really know. Maybe a different. Maybe doubles OU. If you guys want me to go over a certain tier, I'm kind of like ready to try something new. I love doing Monotype. Don't get me wrong. It's my favorite tier to play Mono. But there's a lot of tiers out there: doubles, Ubers, Balance Hackmons, 1v1s. There's a lot you can do out there. So I also want to make a Monotype tier list. So if you have any experience with Monotype, let me know. I'll be happy to collab with you on that. That'll be a lot of fun to do, I think. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. As always, hope to see you in the next video.